Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 11, Chapter 2. Prahlaadhas for the Present Age, Part 1 of 2. If I ask you who you are, you may reply, "We are teachers," or some of you may even say, "We are students." But both statements are not true. You are sadhakas, spiritual aspirants. That is the real fact. I am glad your sadhana is moving at a satisfactory pace. You have brought me among you as a result of your sincerity and enthusiasm. I am always specially interested in the service done to children, and I must say you have taught them good lessons in a spirit of love. Some of you, I find, are a bit over-enthusiastic. You have taught the children stories that are too long and make them cram the whole stuff. Please don't overtax their memory. Short stories, 20 to 25 lines long, are the best. Don't make them learn by heart just because I am visiting and a storytelling program needs to be arranged. What is learned under pressure will soon be forgotten. It will not transform the mind by soaking into it. The incidents and the morals they illustrate have to be imprinted on the heart. They must learn not by heart, but for and through the heart. I find you are instructing them in bhajan, storytelling and writing stories and essays. The stories they recite or write are culled from the epics and Upanishads, scriptures of supreme reality. This is good. But instruct them in meditation too, for a short while each day. Let that habit be inculcated even at this age. 5 minutes of prayers and another 5 minutes of dhyana, meditation, will be a good exercise, whose taste itself will persuade the children to make it a habit. The tender mind has to be fed with tenderness. Story of Shabari's entry into the hermitage. Shabari had a very tender, compassionate heart. How she came to sage Matanga and stayed at his hermitage is a very interesting story. Her marriage was arranged by her parents and, as was the custom among the Adivasis, tribal folk, a goat was to be offered to the tribal goddess on the night previous to the ceremony in order to win the grace for the couple. When Shabari came to know about this slaughter, she wept and fell at the feet of her parents, praying to them to save the goat. She asked, "How can our married life be happy when the dying bleat of this goat is the prologue?" But her father pushed her aside and proceeded with the cruel rite. That night, Shabari ran out of that den of torture and hid herself in the depths of the jungle that was not far off. When the day dawned, her parents as well as the groom's party were plunged in grief and anxiety. They combed the area, even where she was lying low amidst the thick bushes, and they went back saying amongst themselves, "She could not have gone to the hermitage, for no woman would be given asylum there." Shabari heard these words, and so she concluded that the hermitage was the safest place for her. She felt that some monk will take pity on her and not send her back. Matanga espied her and gave her permission to be in his habitation. He told her that God, in the form of Sri Rama, would be coming to the hermitage some day. since he had been exiled into the forest for 14 years, and he is eager to save the monks and seekers doing tapas, penance, in the forest from the ravages of the demonic enemies of peace. Rama, he said, was proceeding from one region to another with his consort, Sita, and his brother Lakshmana. Shabari's heart became Rama's heart. From this day, Shabari had no other thought than of Rama, no other desire than the desire to have the darshan of Rama, the chance to touch his feet, and the opportunity to speak with him. Her heart was saturated with the Rama rasa, the sweet juice of the Rama principle. She had no other japam or dhyana, repetition of God's name or meditation or spiritual exercise. She spent her time preparing for the visit of Rama to the hermitage. Just as she cleaned the paths, she cleaned her heart too. Pebbles and thorns disappeared from both through her efforts. She walked through the undergrowth and removed overhanging creepers and briars, for she imagined Rama would not have combed his hair and it might get caught. She broke the lumps of earth, for she feared the tender soles of Sita will be hurt when she walks over them. She gathered fruits. She gathered tubers from the jungle trees and plants and kept them by every day, for no one knew when Rama will arrive, and she took no risks. She tasted every fruit, whether it was bitter, sour, or sweet, so that Rama could eat the best. She smoothed the surface of all stones that lay by the side of the tracks in the jungle, for she expected Rama, Lakshmana, or Sita to sit upon any one of them when they got tired of walking. She hoped that one of them would rest a while on one of the rocks she had polished with great care. Thus it became Rama Hridaya, Rama's heart. The children of the Sathya Sai Balvikas must know the Sathya Sai that is residing in their hearts. Teachers also must take it as a puja, ritual worship, of Sai Rama. How can they reveal the Sai Rama residing in their hearts to the children? That is the problem that must be directing your work. Sai Ram has to move about in the jungles of your heart, so render the tracks wide, smooth, free from thorn and pebble. Shabari's high level of sadhana. Shabari was so immersed in Rama that the ascetics lost all awareness of her gender. They allowed her to remain in the hermitage after Matanga related to them her high level of sadhana, spiritual practice. Matanga also left his body and gave up his hermitage to Shabari, saying, "You alone deserve to be here when Rama arrives." The sadhana that Shabari did to earn the bliss of serving Rama, you do when you serve Sai Rama in these children. By this service, you realize the self. People say that they are doing paropakara, good to others, and lokopakara, good to the world. Really speaking, this is an empty boast. Let us take it that you invite 10 people for dinner. When the 10 sit at the table, you too sit as the 11th, don't you? So you too consume a share of the dinner. How then can you call it a dinner for others? An act of hospitality for others. When you do good to the world, you share in that good, and so you cannot say that you are serving others. It is self first and help next. When you carry out the duty you have undertaken to do, God will shower grace. You are both teachers and students, remember, for you teach these children, but you learn from me. You must not have the consciousness that they are children belonging to others. Treat them as your own. End of part 1 of 2, Dharmakshetra, January 3rd, 1971.